our speakers. Go ahead.
What was the name of your third book you mentioned?
The
Behind the Door.
autobiography is called Behind the Door.
Right.
And the other two books are called Think and Carry Me.
For Doc Heidi, do you counsel men as well as women?
I do. I usually put men in. Well, I have individual coaching programs. I do monthly free workshops on the character traits of a toxic person, and then I do group coaching and I do individual coaching. And usually the men fall into the group coaching. So, but yeah.
Are they in a group with women?
What?
Are they in a group
Yep.
with women or just men?
Yep, and I'll tell you, them women get super protective of the men in that group because when they hear that there's a female treating,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and so the group coaching has proved to be very healing because if they can't get a hold of me, they get on the I have a Facebook page for the group, and by the second time, everybody in the group knows everybody's story, so it's very healing.
What's the name of that book that you're in?
This is called The Missing Piece in Forgiveness, and I'm working on my next book, but my next book is going to be a workbook because what my goal is in the toxic relationship awareness is if I would have known what the characteristics of a toxic person was, I would have not stayed so long. So I am dedicated to teaching people, especially because we know it's a repetitive cycle, because it becomes normal to us that you have to break that cycle, and the only way you can break it is for you to know the characteristics of a toxic person so you can recognize them. And I have several clients who've been in 3, 4, repetitive ones. So I do a lot with awareness. In fact, I'm doing my first conference is this April here in St. Louis, and it's going to be all aware. It's going to be 2 days of all the awareness going over the characteristics, and I don't know if you're familiar with the term hoovering. When you leave and they use every tactic in the book to suck you back in. I'm going to go over all the tactics they use for the hoovering.
Do you have information about that conference?
I don't, only because the location is not nailed down yet. It was supposed to be nailed down this week.
In April?
Yes, it's going to be April 7 and 8. And I don't know if anybody has anybody been in a relationship like that?
Yep.
So you know what it's like when you try to have a conversation with them?
I don't do that anymore.
It's a verbal competition, though. It's not a conversation. And so I'm going through all that. And it's just also so people can pick up on it and recognize it. Because like you or you, if somebody would say, why are you in that? Why don't you leave?
Yeah.
People don't understand it unless they've been in it. And so
Most of the people I knew did not,
didn't see it.
he was totally different outside.
Oh, that's a characteristic.
Everybody thought he was great.
Yeah,
I said I was leaving, they're like, what? He's great.
Yeah, that's one of the characteristics I teach. Yeah. So, but I like to be able to present the information so people can make a judgment call on if they're unhealthy for them. Because everybody in my life told me he was unhealthy for me, and I still stayed there.
It's got to get to the point where you realize it yourself.